Okay. Uh-oh. This is not what I wanted. This is definitely not what I wanted. Why is this just giving me book one? This is not my book one that I did. Let me go check back and check this. Okay, this is the file that I wanted. Okay, so let's make sure I've got everybody in here. I've got the three different methods. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've had some fun. And if you've come to realize it yet, or maybe not, I like sci-fi. I liked Game of Thrones, I like Star Trek, I like Star Wars, I liked Harry Potter. And even though Henry Cavill is no longer in this series, I still like The Witcher. So we're gonna have some fun. So those of you who know The Witcher, you'll get exactly what I'm talking about here. And we're going to come up with our own magic store in the land of The Witcher. And we're going to buy products and then we're going to sell those products to our customers. Now, remember, we're going to be acting as a merchandising company. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the three methods we can use to record journals with a merchandising company in accounts receivables and accounts payable. Okay. I will describe them throughout the videos. I'm going to make one video and then stop it. And then I'm going to go in and make the other video. And then I'm going to make the other video. So there'll be three videos to this. So we're first going to do this using perpetual inventory, the gross method, not meaning gross isn't like I'm going to get sicked out. It means gross isn't meaning is the total dollar amount. There's two different inventory methods that we use. Sometimes we just call them inventory methods. Okay, there's perpetual and there's periodic. Perpetual is when we continuously update the inventory accounts. Periodic is when we have additional revenue and expense GL accounts to track the purchases and the sale of merchandise inventory. And then at the very, very end, at the end of the period, we will update the inventory account. There's some steps we take. So let's go ahead and let's start with we're going to use perpetual gross. Now, what I've done here is I've kind of expanded this journal entry for you because I want you to think. And when we do these journal entries, I want you to think about when is the due date, what is going to be the discount amount, and who is going to be paying the freight. These are all very important questions when we're looking at invoices, whether we are the customer or whether we are selling to, whether we're the customer, we're buying from a vendor, or we're selling to a customer. We're the vendor. Okay. So let's go ahead and start this. Okay, so my first one is Geralt. We're going to just call him Geralt. Purchased $5,000 of Eye of Nahalini. I'm getting good at this. I can't pronounce any other name, but I can do these fake names. From Tris Marigold Incorporated on account. Terms are net 30. So let's go ahead. We bought some of this Eye of Nahalini, which I believe is going to be an herb of some type, because why not? So let's go ahead. I got to look at the date again. 3/1. We'll make it 2025. And so we're going to purchase this inventory. Now I'm using perpetual. Okay, here we go. That's got my door open so you can hear the military planes going overhead. And that was $5,000. And let's go double check that. Terms are net 30. Okay. I'm going to put accounts payable. Normally we would do this through a subsidiary account and we would identify who that that vendor is or that customer is. So this is going to be from Tris Marigold. Come on, sweetheart. I'm working this at home, so trying to get caught up on some things. Okay, accounts payable, accounts payable. Now I'm using an abbreviation. That is the abbreviation for accounts payable. You'll see me do it with wages payable, notes payable, accounts receivable, notes receivable. You'll see me abbreviate things. It's just the way we talk in accounting. Okay, when I'm looking at here, I know that my terms are going to be net dash 30. That means the whole invoice is due within 30 days. So let's look at that and let's think, okay, how many days is that? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go plus that due date plus 30 days. Oh, look at that. I have no discount amount and there's nothing in there. We can make the assumption, maybe we went down to the store and we just purchased this herb and there was no freight or anything involved. So there we go. I'm getting kind of cold. Again, I've been cold all day long. I'm sure everybody else has too. Okay. 3.5, we purchased another 12,500 Rose of Remembrance from Myanna Burring. On account, terms are 210 net 30. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that one in there. I'm just going to go ahead and click through there. Okay, there's my inventory, 12,500. And I'm going to have to go back in and look because it's a weird name, because that's what I did. I picked all these weird names. And you can see my customers and vendors right here. And so that was Myanna Burring. Okay. Okay, we owe them money. Terms are 2-10, comma, net -30, no freight information there. So again, I'm going to look at that due date. Now, if I was to pay this according to the terms, now remember, this is how we do our terms. When you see this, when you see the net 30, when you see net EOM, those are special credit terms. That tells us when the invoice is due. We're not going to just say invoice is due on this day. We're going to make it complicated because we're accounting and that's what we do. So what this means is if I pay this invoice within 10 days, I can take 2% off. Otherwise, the whole invoice is due in 30 days. So let's see, in 10 days, what day would that be? So I'm going to come over here and all I'm going to do is go to that date and I'm going to add 10 days to it. And then I'm going to find out what's going to be the date in 30 days. There we go. Beautiful, isn't it? If I was to take off 2%, what would that be? Okay, I'm going to do 2%, 0.02. There we go, $250. We don't have anything in here about freight. Okay, so we've got all this. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Now I'm going to be paying attention to these vendors and to these customers, because even though I don't have any examples here in what I'm doing with my videos, your homework will have your customers or yourself returning goods, defective goods for whatever reason. And then you still need to go in and you need to calculate what will end up being the amount you will pay. And I may come up with one just for fun at the end of the day to kind of show you how you have to track it. Okay, but not on this video. Our next instructions on 310, we sold a potion of ill repute to Jaskier Dandelion in the amount of 6,300. Cost of goods sold was 4,200. Terms are 115 net 45. So let's go get that ill repute sold. Okay, and it's going to be on account because I've got terms. I should have printed this out, shouldn't I? That way I can see it real fast. 310. 25. Okay, that's going to be accounts receivable. And that's going to be that Jaskier Dandelion. Yeah, who wouldn't want that as their name, right? Okay. And how much was that for? That was 6,300. Okay. This is going to be sales. Now, the book is going to make you do these transactions separately. This is how, when I do my transaction, this is how I do it. But the book will have you put the date in there and whatnot and treat them as two separate transactions. I just don't. Okay, my cost of goods sold. That's how much I paid for this potion of ill repute. 4,200. And out the door went my inventory. So see, I'm no longer going to have this inventory, so it's going to go out the door. And I'm going to go back in here and look at those 115 net 45. So I'm going to go 1-15 comma net dash 45. If we pay this invoice within 15 days, we can take 1% off. So let's see, what is going to be that 15 days? I'm going to come over here. I know you all can think it in your head, but too bad. I want to do this on Excel. I get to take 15, but if I pay it within 325, I can take off, or the customer can take off times 0.01. $63. Okay. Go ahead and make that pretty because I can't stand not watching my cents. Otherwise, the entire invoice is due in 45 days. Plus 45 days. There's when my invoice is due. Pay attention to this. I use Excel because it's very exact, especially sometimes if we're really, really lucky, we're going to have a leap year in there. So it's going to really mess us up in terms of counting on our fingers and toes. So it's just as easy just to use our Excel. So the next one, I'm going to come down here. And so if I decide to take those, I've got all my dates right there for me. Next one, purchase 10 pounds of wolfsbane, which I think is not good stuff, but I don't know. Who knows? From Yennefer of Vingerberg in the amount of $20,000. Terms are 210 net 30. FOB shipping point. Freight was prepaid by Yennefer of Vingerberg in the amount of $100. So we're purchasing this from a vendor. So let's go ahead and start. 3/14/25. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. The book does it a tad bit different. The book, and I'll tell you about how they do it in just a second. According to this, we purchased $20,000, and let's look at these freight conditions. FOB shipping point means that the buyer is going to pay for the freight. FOB destination point means that the seller will pay for the freight. So here we have to pay for the cost of the freight. So let's go ahead and put that in there so that we know that we're going to have to pay for the cost of the freight. And I've got it up here. We're the buyer, and so we're going to have to pay for it. Okay. So we've got that going on. Now I got my doors open, and if you hear the thumping, that's not my house, that's somebody else's house. I think it's the front door neighbors. There's teenagers that live there. Okay, we got 20,000, 210 net 30. Okay. This is going to be my inventory. Accounts payable. Yennefer. I'm just going to put Yennefer because I feel like it. Okay. Now in here, we said 210 net 30. Okay. I'm going to have to change some things, so just hang on a second. FOB shipping point. And my cost is $100. Okay. So I've got all my description in there. So actually, guess what that's going to be? Okay. It's because we're in charge of, we have to pay for the freight. Okay. If I'm going to pay this within 10 days, if I'm going to pay this within 30 days, if I pay it within 10 days. Now, when it comes to the shipping, Yennefer paid it on our behalf. So she's out $100, but it's not her responsibility to pay that. She's just doing it as a courtesy. We cannot take that discount on that $100. So the only thing we can take that discount of 2% on is the 20,000, which is the actual inventory. Okay. 20,000 times. There we go. Much better. I knew that was a little off. Okay. So we've got that information down there for us. Yay. What more in life could we want, right? Okay. Now we just did 314. Let's go pay Myrna. We're going to pay on 315. So let's see what we got here. We're going to use our cash. So which one of these is Myrna? Myrna's right up here. If I pay on 315, I can take a discount of $250. So we're going to go ahead and take that AP dash. I gotta remember who she is. Oh, it's Myanna, not Myrna. Okay. Myanna Buring. Okay, out the door is going to be my cash. But you know what? I'm not quite done here yet. Okay. So we're going to stop right there. My inventory amount for them is 12,500. That's what's in my accounts payable. But you know what? That's not all. Okay. We're going to take that discount. When we take that discount, we're going to save $250. Okay. That decreases what we actually paid for our inventory. So we're going to reduce that by $250. And so that means out the door, our cash went $12,250. Okay. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So here I'm reflecting what I actually did pay for my inventory. They said, hey, this is what we charge, but hey, if you pay within this discount period, you can take a little bit of a discount, a cash discount on it. And so in the end, my inventory cost me $250 less. So I need to reflect what I truly paid for it. Remember the cost principle. Okay, so 315. This is driving me nuts with these aircraft. Okay, now I'll know I can still hear the airplanes, but you're not going to be able to hear them. Okay, on 316, we sold a megascope to Siri of Circum for $3,500. Terms are 110 net 20. FOB shipping, freight was prepaid in the amount of $400. Cost of goods sold was $1,750. So let's go ahead and get that. This is a customer, and it's Siri of Circum. So that's accounts receivable. Siri of Circum. That's the blonde chick that becomes a witcher. Okay, just FYI. And what did she buy? 3,500. Out the door went my inventory, but first we record the sales. $3,500. Record our cost of goods sold. You can also go, you know what? Just to save me some time, I'm going to abbreviate. COGS was 1,750. And out the door went the inventory. Now I'm really not done with this, okay? We need to record the fact that we prepaid for this, we prepaid for the freight cost of this, even though it's Siri's responsibility to pay for it. So we're gonna go ahead and record that. And we're going to put this in here. Now, normally what we would do is we would just add it to the accounts receivable, but we're gonna be very specific out the door at the cash to pay for that. And my terms are quite unique. 110 net 20. It is FOB shipping point. And you can already, since I already went ahead and did this, you can assume right there that I paid for the freight for them. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is 10 days. Plus 10 days over here. Plus 20 days, so that tells you my due dates right there. If she pays within 10 days, she can't take it off the freight, but she can take off the 1% off of this times 0.01. Okay, and she's the buyer, and she is responsible for the freight. Okay. So we've got that one right there. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay, next one. Okay, so here we go. So we have this one completely taken care of. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the next one, which is on 320. And did I get that cost of goods sold? Let's make sure I got that cost of good. I sure did. Okay, just want to make sure I got everything recorded. 320, we sold a magic scope to Queen Calinthe in the amount of 10,500. Terms are net end of month, FOB destination with freight costing 250. Now here, this is something different. Cost of goods sold was $6,750. So here we go. So we got accounts receivable. And this is the Queen. What is her name? I want to say Calinthia. Yep, Calinthia. By the time I get done with doing this 3 times, I'm going to know everybody's names. Okay, and that was a total of 10,500. Sales, about 10,500. Let me move this up because I can't see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my cost of goods sold. And that is going to be, what was it? It was going to be 6,750. Out the door went my inventory. Now I'm going to go ahead and record this freight. Now with this FOB destination, it is my I'm the seller, so I'm responsible for paying for the freight. So what we're going to call this, actually, it's going to be called a delivery expense. And I believe it was $250, and out the door went my cash. Okay. So that's what that's going to look like. Now I'm going to describe it. How am I going to describe it? I'm going to describe it as terms are net end of month, FOB destination point. Now, it really is super, super, super end of month. What's the end of month here? We're going to make it 3/31. Okay, it's really, really super, super important for you to pay attention to that shipping point and destination. We're gonna make this date. I'm gonna make them all look the same because it'll drive me nuts if they're not. And then I have to move this over so I can see my okay. Move that back. I don't even know if you guys saw me moving that. If you even saw what I was moving. Okay. This is so, so, so important. And so I will just describe to you a situation. One that, I found very, very fond memories of. One of these days I'll probably put pictures of my sons when we went there. many, many moons ago when my son Adam, who you all know is going to be 19 soon, when he was just a young child, we took him and his brother Austin to Williams, Arizona, during Christmas time to go ride the train. And so your teacher has never driven in snow before. She doesn't like snow. She doesn't like it when it's snowing. She doesn't like it when it's not. She doesn't like it, that white stuff. It's just way, way, way too much. Okay. So we're driving up there and we see that we're starting to come into a winter storm. And I'm like holding tight to that steering wheel because I'm afraid I'm going to slip and slide everywhere. I've never driven in snow. It freaks me out. So I'm driving. We get to Ash Fork, and so we went up Highway 95 all the way to Kingman, and then we took I want to say it was the 40, and took the 40 on over to Williams, which Williams is in between Kingman and Flagstaff. So we're on that, and Ash Fork's about 10 miles west of Williams. And so the highway patrol pulls us all off and we're done. And they're like, okay, you're gonna have to wait. We sat there for 2 hours waiting for them to let us back on the freeway. So we finally get back on the freeway. We're doing like 5 miles per hour for the next 10 miles. And we get there, okay? But when we got there and it was crazy. I drove on top of snow and I parked in a big, huge hill of snow because I didn't know where to park because you couldn't see anything. But anyhow, so we get into the hotel and we find out that the reason why they shut down the freeway is the snowstorm had gotten so bad it became a whiteout. And multiple semis flipped over during the whiteout. They lost control and flipped over. So what do semis do? Well, they're carrying merchandise from one place to the other. FOB shipping point, FOB destination point. Whose merchandise does it belong to? Does it belong to the seller or the buyer? Well, if it's FOB shipping point, as soon as that merchandise goes into those trucks and begins to travel to the buyer's place of business, it belongs to the buyer. So FOB shipping point, the buyer would be responsible for making the insurance claims and trying to, recoup the cost of that lost merchandise. FOB destination point means that merchandise belongs to the seller until it gets to the buyer's place of business. So if it was FOB destination, all that merchandise in those trucks that flipped, it's the seller's responsibility to go and apply for insurance and whatnot to recoup the cost of that lost merchandise. There's a couple of other different items that we have to be conscientious of in accounting, and that is at the end of the year, we need to do adjusting entries to account for merchandise that's in transit. Who does it belong to? And we need to sometimes add it back in or subtract it out of our books based on FOB shipping point or FOB destination. So that's why it's super, super important, not just who is paying for it, but whose merchandise is that in transit. Okay. So that's why super, super important. So I like to just tell that story because you guys, right now, all you guys are thinking about snow and it's so cold right now. You can't stand it. I know I can't stand it either. Okay, so we've got that in here. Notice there's no discount. Okay, 324. We paid Yennefer. Let's go pay some Yennefer. Okay, so now I gotta find Yennefer. Okay, here we go. Yennefer, 324. I'm paying within the discount period. Okay. We still have to take into consideration. Okay. FOB shipping point. Okay, pay attention. We cannot take the 2% off on that $100. So again, it's only that 20,000. Remember, I calculated that correctly up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pay that. So we're gonna go accounts payable, Yennefer. And so that's gonna be 20,100 because I'm gonna get rid of it completely, even though I'm not going to pay it all in cash. And so I'm decreasing the cost of my inventory by 400. And out the door is going to go my cash of 19,700. And that's it. Isn't that beautiful? Makes me so happy. What more in life could I want? Okay. 325, receive payment from Jaskier of Dandelion. Okay, so that means we're gonna get some money. Let's get some money. Pay me what you owe me. I know that's not how the song goes, but that's just how I like to sing it. Okay, I know he was up here. Okay, 310. Okay, it's due 325. He gets to take a discount of $63. Okay. We can do this a couple different ways, but this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go cash. And that is going to be, how much cash are we gonna get? We're gonna subtract out that $63, so it's gonna be $6,237. $6,237. Okay. I'll put this down here. Accounts receivable, the dandelion dude, what is his name again? Jaskier. Okay, $6,300. Okay, my debits and credits don't balance. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, it means we need to have another GL account. Now, we set up here, sales was 6,300, so we're gonna have another revenue account, and we're gonna call it sales discount. You can put sales in here, but it's nice to track these sales discounts. And we're gonna put that right there, okay? That's what we should be doing. Okay, next one, I did the 325, let's do 328. Yeah, I go down, I have 2 months worth of data. This is why I'm going to be doing this in 3 videos. We purchased 5 pigskin pup balls for $100 each. 5 pounds of buckhorn for $2,000 per pound, 3 pounds of blood moss for $600 per pound. I know, hey, don't judge me. I went and I looked them all up. The terms are 110 net 15 FOB shipping point with freight. Freight was prepaid at $350. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some calculating, so I'm gonna be going back and forth with this. Okay, we know this is 328. And I'm gonna write this down real fast, just so I don't have to keep going back. I've got 5 at 500, 5 times 100, and then I've got, I'll erase it later. 5 at 2,000. And 3 at 600. So I know that's 500. That is going to be 10,000, and that one is going to be 1,800. Okay, so I add them all together, and I'm going to have, this is going to be my inventory, and watch me go. Plus 500 plus 10,000 plus 1,800. Okay. In computerized accounting, we would be entering that data in, and it would help us quite a bit. Accounts payable, who did I buy it from? Royce Pearson. He's the dude that also had he liked the Jennifer girl, but he liked her even before she was pretty. I know, it's too much, isn't it? I have terms. What are my terms? 110 net 15 FOB shipping, 350. Now I forgot it again because I'm hearing sirens. Net 15. Yes. You can make these terms anything you want, and I guess I did. FOB shipping point. And my freight cost me $350. Okay. Now, what I can do in here, because it's FOB shipping point, and they've already prepaid the freight for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go 12,650. 12,650, because that freight is actually a cost of bringing that inventory into your store. Okay, some of these I really don't need to start like adding up like who's paying for it and whatnot. But you can use that to help you calculate. Okay, wait. That's 10 days. What's this? 15 days. Okay. What is going to be now? I got to pay attention to this. It's 12,300 times 0.01 if I take the discount. Okay. So beautiful, wonderful stuff. Makes me happy. Okay, I'm at 331. I'm gonna pay Tris Marigold. I think that one was way up at the top. Yeah, 5,000. Accounts payable is a liability. To get rid of a liability, we are going to debit. Offsetting entry is cash. That was easy, huh? Don't you love it when I give you guys easy ones? Okay, next one. I know I have another one here. Receive payment from Queen Caliente. Okay. So 3/31. I know that one's gonna be cash. I can't remember what I gotta find her. Just, there we go. So she is paying within the discount period, so I am going to have to decrease my sales. So I'm gonna put my accounts receivable. Oh, what is that? It just freaked me out. I still don't even know how I do those. Bean caliente. Okay, this one here is going to be my sales discount because I actually sold it for less. And let's go ahead and check this out. Let's see what we got this. There we go. Okay, we paid for the delivery expense. Oh, I don't have a sales discount. I lied. Look at this. It's just due at the end of the month. Oh, I got ahead of myself. Let's delete that. And let's move this up here. Okay, excellent. That makes me even happier. It's easier to calculate. And we got 10,500. I saved the best for the end of the month. Okay, and everybody's thinking, yeah, but she's still got another month. I know, it's awful of me, isn't it? It's actually not that many. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 8 more transactions. We purchased 5 magic sensors from Mimi Kayisa in the amount of 25,000. Terms are 210 net 30 FOB destination point in the amount of $400. So let's go ahead and let's get that in there. So Mimi Kayisa. I'm hoping I'm spelling these right. Okay, what date was that? 4/3, 25,000. Okay, I know I have terms in here. Terms are 210 net 30. Okay. This is the seller's responsibility. We are not the seller, we're the buyer. So we don't care. But what we do care about is 4-3 less 10 or 4-3 plus 30. So those are our due dates. If I pay it on the 13th, I get to take off 2%. There we go, $500. Okay. Now, I really did have to track all of this. I was going in and cross-referencing all of these in order to come up and make sure I got everybody taken care of. You will have to do that as well. Okay, sold a Sephiroth to Renfrey of Creighton in the amount of $20,300. Cost of goods sold 9,730. Terms are 110 net 20. FOB destination point with freight cost of $450. So I'm gonna have to keep going back and forth on this. So 4-5 on 2,300. And I sold it to that person, so that's gonna be accounts receivable. And he's the bad dude. He's the weird dude. I believe this is the one that was the dad of the girl who becomes the Witcher that of Syndrome. And he ended up wanting, anyhow, it's kind of really gross and disgusting and inappropriate. 20,300. He's a bad dude. Okay, my offsetting entry is going to be sales. I'm going to put in here my cost of goods sold. And that one is 9,730. Offsetting entry is inventory because that's what's out the door. And we're gonna put in that FOB. Actually, we're gonna put in because it's FOB destination point. So we're the seller, we're responsible. And that's 450. Out the door went our cash. Okay, 1-10, comma, I think I had it at 20. Okay, double check. 110 net 20. Okay, good. So what is my day that I can take the discount plus 10, the due date, the final due date? Okay, here we go. Perfect. Life is wonderful for me. Okay, the next one, this is going to freak me out until I get this fixed, which there we go, 10 seconds and it's fixed. Okay, so we did 4-5. We got another 4-5. We received payment from Siri of Centra. It's going to be cash. Now, I don't know if this is. Okay. Oh, she's paying it on the due days. She's not taking her discount. So she's going to pay us 3,500. Plus the $400 here. That was the freight cost that she's responsible for. That was easy. We got those, so we just got 6 more to do. No, 5 more to do. Sold a Witcher medallion to Eamon Farron for 3,500 with a cost of goods sold of 1,250. Terms FOB destination with freight cost of 150 and net 20. Okay, I gotta read. Eamon, I know this is what happens when I pick weird names, okay? And let's double check. Okay, so we're selling this, it's FOB destination, we're the seller. So we're gonna be paying that freight cost of $150. Out the door with my cash to pay it. We're gonna double check. What are the terms on this? Net 20. Nice, sweet and easy. Okay, beautiful. What day is it due on? On 4/30. Okay. On 4/12, we're gonna pay Royce Pearson. I just gotta find him. Right here. And what day are we paying him? 4/12. Oh, look at us. We're not paying within the discount period. So we're gonna have to pay the whole thing. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna pay somebody else. Mimi Kayisi. What day was that? 4/13. Okay, I gotta go find her. Okay, right here. And we're paying it on the 13th, so we are paying within the discount period. We're gonna get to take $500 off this invoice. So we're gonna end up paying her. We're gonna get rid of the accounts payable. Okay. Then we're gonna have our inventory of $500 because we're getting to take the discount. And out the door went our cash of 24,000. It's gonna do what it wants to do today, I swear. I don't know why I buy Dell computers. I'm just bad on them. Okay. Receive payment from Renfree of Creedon on 4/25. Okay. If he pays within the discount period, and he's not, he didn't pay on the 15th. He would have got to take a 1% discount, but he didn't, so he owes us this entire 20,300. I don't even know if I got this right. Renfree of Sindon. And the last one. On 4/30, we received payment from Eamon Farron. So there's cash. So let's find out where he's at. He's right here. So net 20. There's no discount at all, and that's 3,500. Yep. Okay. Cool. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back and double check and make sure I got everybody. I don't know why that's underlined. Okay. So if I really, really want to go back, there's a couple things I can do. I can, with my post reference, I can use this to create a way to double check my balances, okay? Now, what I could do is I could give them each their own account numbers. Let's say that Tris Marigold was 100. Where's my next accounts payable? So let's give them 200. Let's make this one down 200. I know I had 5 of them. And then the next one is 201. Okay. So let's say I've got this Tris right here. Let's put her down as 200. Okay. And we'll put this one down as 201. Now, if I do this, this is a way for me to double check things. Okay. I'm gonna do something called it's a logic formula. If this cell, okay, on that column is equal to this cell on this road, comma, plus that minus that. Otherwise, don't do anything. Okay, I'm going to hit the enter because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back up here to my formula bar and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to anchor the columns and the rows. So I'm going to anchor this column because I always want it to come back to this column. And then I'm going to anchor this row because I always want it to come back to that row. This one with the column and this one with the column. Now watch when I do this puppy. You guys are going to be shocked. Okay, you can see. Yeah, this was blank, so that's why it showed up. Okay, so let's grab this and let's drag it on down to about there. Yay! Now I can drag this all the way down, and so I'm going to go back in once I get done entering, just dragging it all the way down. And I'm going to sum that to N3. And right there. Okay. Now let me see, who did I have? So I said that this was 200 is AP is Tris Marigold and 201 is Miana. Okay, and let's get to that Tris Marigold. I know she's in here somewhere. Okay, so look at that. When I went and entered those in, there's the 5,000. You can't. Now you can see all of them. There's the 12,500. So it basically, I'm double checking myself to make sure I've got everybody entered in there. And that's just, you could put their names up there and say Tris, TM, whatever you wanted to do. I don't care. That's just an easy way for you to go back in and double check and make sure you've got everything entered in. Okay. I'm just giving you this information just for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this video. And like I said, this was the gross. And then we will end up doing the net, which you're going to notice is going to be a little bit different. And you can do either method, no matter what, you're going to get to the same results. One method, they're just a little bit, one method is going to be more conservative than the other. So that's the gist of it. So let me go ahead and get all that taken out for you. And I'm going to go ahead and end this and get part of the video done. Yay!